At this point, I'm pretty sure my motto for the rest of 2017 is going to need to be so many books, so little time. Hey Word Nerds, happy Tuesday and welcome back to Reader's Nook, the part of the week where we take a break from all of the insanity of NaNoWriMo and writing and talk a little bit about all of the books we want to read or have read and loved. Specifically, I'm going to be focusing on all of the books I hope to read by the end of 2017. At the beginning of the year, I set myself a goal of 100 books to read in 2017, and that didn't go all that well. I realized pretty quickly that wasn't going to happen. I moved my goal down to 75 books. And that didn't go well either. I am currently still 7 books away from even hitting 50, so that is my new goal by the end of this year. I'm really hoping to have read 50 books so that I can at least feel like I made a dent in my giant TBR throughout all of 2017. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about all of the books I'm hoping to read before the end of the year in order to hit that goal. As of filming this video, I'm about halfway through my reread of Queen of the Tearling, so I'm going to count that as book number 1. I'm hoping to finish reading that before December 9th, which is when I'm moving, and then do all of the rest of my reading after that when I have a little bit less on my plate. In order to give myself my best chance at success, I'm going to go through and kind of pick some books that I either know I'm going to love or will be able to read quickly or are just a little bit shorter than average. First up, I'm aiming to read 12 by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is a novella set in the world of the Naturals, which is kind of a teen criminal minds series that I have absolutely loved. In the past, the Word Nerds have read the first book for book club. I've read all 4, and I'm really dying to read this new story because it's set after all of the events of the main series and kind of shows where the characters end up. I cannot wait to see what this is all about. Next up is another novella and a story I have been hearing so many good things about. This is Binti by Nnedi Okorafor. Binti is a science fiction story all about a young woman who is leaving her home in Namibia in order to go to the best university in the galaxy, and honestly that is all I know about it, except that there are 3 novellas in this series. I think the last one is coming out next year. I've heard really, really great things. It is diverse science fiction, which is something I think we need a lot more of, and it is a shorter book, so I'm really looking forward to reading it. The third book that I'm hoping to read is Always and Forever Lara Jean, which is the 3rd book in the To All the Boys I've Loved Before series by Jenny Han. I really enjoyed the first 2 books in the series. I didn't necessarily feel like there needed to be sequels, but I really enjoy this writing style and the characters, so I can't wait to see how this story finally wraps up. Number 4 is a book that I am super excited to read, and that is The Strange and Deadly Portraits of Bryony Gray by our very own E. Latimer. I was lucky enough to get a copy on NetGalley, so I get to read it ahead of time before the book comes out in February, and I am so excited. This is a middle grade story that is a retelling or reimagining of the portrait of Dorian Gray, and I have followed Erin's journey all through writing and editing this book, and I'm so incredibly proud of her. I cannot wait to read it for myself and then buy a copy when it's available. Book number 5 is going to be a reread for me, and that is something I've been doing a lot in 2017. There have been so many reading slumps for me, and a good trick to get yourself out of that is to dive back into a book you already know you love. I've also been working through a Harry Potter reread, and I am on book number 6, so I will be reading Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and I already know I'm going to love it. And finally, my last book of 2017 is going to be a bit of a surprise, even to me. I don't know what it is at this point, but if I can get through all of the other ones, I will let myself go to a bookstore and pick something that just sounds cool. There are so many books I want to read, but every time I look at my bookcase, I get a little bit of analysis paralysis and I can't just pick one. So hopefully picking something new will kind of end my reading year on a high note and let me just kind of explore something that maybe I wouldn't have otherwise read. So that's it for me today. I'd love to hear what books you guys want to read before the end of the year, or if there's anything you've especially loved this year that you would recommend I pick up in December in order to get me through to the end of the year and jumping into 2018. And speaking of books, don't forget to join us on Sunday for our next live chat. This is going to be our last book club of the year, and we are reading The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I read it earlier and absolutely loved it. If you haven't read it yet, you really, really should. It is so worth the read and such a fantastic story. So hopefully you guys will give that one a chance and then come on Sunday to discuss it with us. In the meantime, happy reading, happy writing, and I'll see you next time.